Good morning, good afternoon. This is Dr. Ayaba. Today is the 8th July 2024, and this is my daily briefing to our dear people so we can examine the day of today, the issues at stake, where we are, what we are doing. The first thing I would like to tell our people is that the new dawn has come. What we are doing is not an experiment. It's not an agitation. We are not trying to impress Cameroon. We are not trying to use our actions to seek compromise or seek the sympathy or mercy of those who've murdered and looted our land for 63 years. This is the end game generation, the never again generation that has decided to write the obituary of Cameroon in Ambazonia. And so for every policy that we design and try to implement, we've thought about it carefully. We have been able to answer the questions: how will that particular policy take us forward? What will be the impact of that policy on the enemy and on our people? All the policies we put in place have some negative impact on our people, but its overriding impact is on the ability of the enemy to continue to legislate, to execute, and to adjudicate its laws and practices in our land. Look, Ambazonians, Lily Lafrique and Bilai, they live in La République du Cameroon and come and work in Ambazonia. Sometimes they sit in their bunkers or offices in Cameroon and make decisions in Ambazonia that have virtually no impact on them or their families or the population of Cameroon. This generation has made that to happen. When they ever attempt to move into our land, it must be as sacred as possible. Don't forget, before they entered our land, just like Jesus entered Jerusalem, we were on the roadside clapping for them, waving, raising their flags. They had their CA number plate. That no longer happens. This is a small victory for you. That the enemy does not enter your country with the triumphalism that has characterized their existence in our land. That's a small victory. I am doing this explanation for you to know how we design the concept of the block by block. It's like building a house. It's brick by brick. When we were making mud bricks there in Amba, they say you need to make 3,500 bricks. Sometimes you don't know when to start. You begin, you dig your hole, you make your mud, you smash it, you make your first brick, you place it. You know you are in motion. You make the second one, you place it near the first one. Before you open your eye, an entire surface area has been covered, 100 bricks. And you kept going. This is the logic of the block by block. We achieve a victory incrementally, bit by bit. When you take a victory and you do not know what to do with it, you will be confused. If you do not know that it is this little victory that if you put together will give you that freedom and independence, then you will not understand the logic of the strategies we put in place. They can't drive again on our street raising Cameroon flag and standing on cars because we pluck their heads off. You see them driving around again with CA. You think the DO who lives Let's say he leaves Boya, wants to go to Moyoka. He is just going around carelessly. Because they know who is in charge. They know who owns the land. Remember what I think the section in the Bible that talks about when the master comes in. The thieves have been ravaging everywhere, and suddenly the master comes in. These are the victories that will constitute the overall victory for freedom and independence. We tell them no number plate. Oh, people ask, how is no number plate going to give us independence? It is the acquisition of authority. Occupation is about authority. Who has power? Who controls? That control may not be physical, it can be psychological. Tell me how you feel when you walk down the street and you check a vehicle. It doesn't have CEMAC number plate. Are you a member of the Central African sub-region? No, you're West African. These barbarians force us into their orbit and mess up with our heads. Now you know how you feel when you walk down the street and the enemy is clustered in certain roadblocks with bulletproof, or they are driving on your street with armor car. Before, how did they drive? How did they walk on the street? Like they own a piece of your heart. Like they can dictate what quantity of oxygen you breathe. We have imposed a cost. You know how much it costs Cameroon per day to keep the thousands of forces it keeps, feeds them, pays their family. You know how much it costs the state? Before, it cost them nothing to occupy Ambazonia. Now you have imposed a cost. If you keep increasing that cost, you want to reach the tipping point where the benefit is far lower than the cost. That is when you reach their capitulation. We talked about changing of taxi color, and every weaver bird, they're building nests on open trees, they're making noise, threatening our forces. They wanted to know the relationship, the correlation between taxi color and independence or freedom. They could easily establish a correlation between taxi color and the suffering of our people. But they had difficulties establishing a correlation between taxi color and independence. It's about authority. Who has power? Is it the colonial SDU hiding there in the up station? Or the Ambazonian forces from Tanka to Alabokam to Chomba to Bafo to Bali to Pinyin to Babanki to Bambui? Who is in charge? Who is supposed to wield power? The gangsters hiding up station and looting our land? Or the men and women sweltering, as Martin Luther said, under the heat of oppression and injustice in the defense of a homeland that was mortgaged to these barbarians by people they never know? They ask people to pay taxes, 5,000. These people have increased the price of alcohol. They've increased physical stamp. They've increased how much you pay for their ID card. And very soon, we will decide on ID card. Whether you don't use it or where they have the green, red, yellow, you cut it off. Let us finish yellow color. But begin to think about an ID card that does not have you. You see, I think it's the top right-hand side with the green, red, yellow. Yes. I will be providing scissors to our forces. Nothing in that land will resemble Cameroon. We will take back authority. We will take back control. That is what they call self-government. You decide how if you want to eat achu in the morning, achu in the evening, cassava and akop in the evening, that's your piece of shit. It's not that of La République. That's about what we call freedom. When we declare our right to defend our neighborhood and our villages, they scream. A lot of them When the period of uprising, when Ambazonian mamas and papas, they're all were on the street. The other day I was looking through my database and I saw a letter I wrote to the lawyers, 2016. And I sent about 3 of AGOVC delegates to go and discuss with them privately on what we can do to work together. I saw the one I wrote to the teachers. When it was the period of the uprising, all what they were seeing was opportunity. In the face of little difficulties, they say we should surrender. It is good to live as a slave and stay alive than to try to get freedom and maybe you end up in jail or die. They say, no, our approach is a zero-sum game approach and we may lose. Oh, if you talk about independence and if you lose it completely, you lose everything. My people, Foncha and Muna, they talk about federation. They lost everything completely. The land, the heritage, the resources, their identity, everything. They acquiesced to a unitary state in 1972. They lost everything. So now it's zero-sum game. We completely take everything over, or they take us as physical slaves forever. There is no middle ground, no room for compromise, no room for coexistence. So, and the stupidity about these people who tell us that, oh no, we are extreme. What bothers me a lot is this. Let's assume that you want to stand for a middle ground, whatever your middle ground is, whether it's your special status, whether it's the dog status, whether it's the banana status. Let's say you want to stand on that foundation. What is the foundation upon which you think the enemy can deviate from and seek compromise with you? Is it not the armed resistance? The reason why we tell you that all of those who are out there making noise and they say they want federalism, well, no, they don't want anything. They want one Cameroon where we don't exist. That is why the first thing they do is to attack us, is to try to destroy us. For anybody who thinks they need compromise with Yaoundé, they will back us up. They will tell Yaoundé that, listen, if you do not want to make compromise with us, and then we better go and line up behind the Ayabas. The first thing they do is to try to destroy the resistance, attack its credibility. They declare the defeat of Ambazonia even before the enemy does, as the foundation of their capitulation. These guys are psychic. And I want every Ambazonian to know this is a tough neighborhood. This is a tough journey. But the one thing you have gotten is that you are in resistance. You are in resistance. There is hope. Every time you walk down the street, you find Ambazonian forces have set up roadblock. You take pride in that. Don't believe in the manipulation where the enemy tells you, oh, they've set up roadblocks and they're extorting people. For your entire existence, Kale checkpoints, even till today, they have set it on the basis of what? Security. When Ambazonian forces set it up, it's on the basis of extortion. That is the narrative they have thrown on us for so long until you start believing it. They have also defined our forces as Amber Boys. Amber Boys, the generic name given for kidnapping for ransom. Amber Boys is the generic name given for insecurity. Amber Boys is the generic name given for everything bad about the Ambazonian nationalism. You have embraced it. You see our forces, you call them Amber Boys. Are there no girls in the forces? These are Ambazonian forces. The enemy always dictates who you are. They call you Northwest, you embrace it. You fight and die for it. They call you province. You say you are province. They call you Le Bamenda. You are Le Bamenda. They call you Le Biafran. You are Le Biafran. They call you are a region. You are accepting every nonsense. When Gorgie got up and said this place is an indigenous land with its name Ambazonia, some people say, oh no, don't call it Ambazonia. The UN does not recognize it. UN has to recognize your own name. It's like when Mami Frida said, che, I have to ask some UN to determine what my name should be. They should call me Roger. Aha. We must rebel against this state of affairs. It's cancerous. It's cancerous, my people. You are only seeing La République physical occupation. You don't understand the mental destruction of the foundation of the Ambazonian society. It's cancerous, my people. You are only seeing La République physical occupation. And you are talking about the people who have offered nothing to us. Ambazonian society. My fellow people, there are days that we will limp. There are days we may even crawl. There are days we will take a step back because it's tough going forward. But going forward, we must. Going forward, we must. The state of our continent is a mess. Hijacked, to every program torpedoed. We live in total misery, hopelessness. Our future determined by people who might have even died long time ago. And in the 21st century, with the abundance of knowledge and opportunities, we should write our own stories. We should dictate what we want. We know what is good for us. And we will do it incrementally. I ask all Ambazonians to rally behind me. Let me help lead you to freedom. And we establish the condition for democratic transition into an Ambazonian government that will be elected by the Ambazonian people. For now, if all of you rally, it will not take us any time to write these people out. Pay your liberation tax. Respect the laws that we put in place. That is your form of defiance. Accept the little pain that comes with this investment. Your children will reap the benefit of that pain. Accept the fact that some other people have died for you. Accept the fact that some are in jail for you. Accept the fact that some are IDPs for a dream far bigger than each and every one of us. The supposed noise and chaos being propagated is the propaganda strategy of the enemy. As I wrote yesterday, La République is a bully. There is no day you have sat and you are expecting a speech from Biya and that speech has given you hope. It has been arrogance upon arrogance upon arrogance. Every time he comes on TV, he describes you people as terrorists, as les Anglo, as whatever. He has never changed. His military has never changed. They are bullies. And there is only one way to contain a bully. It's not to blink. Don't compromise. Don't take a step back. Bullies are not dealt with by matching your ideals to their method. Match them method for method. Gutter hole for gutter hole. Rooftop for rooftop. Block by block. Let them know the substance you are made of. I call on all Ambazonians who are still fighting with La République to know this. Your future is in Ambazonia. You must help the Ambazonian forces. I call on Cameroonian soldiers still taking orders from men who cannot walk to look across in Burkina Faso, in Niger, in Mali, and see the caliber of men who are now overseeing the destiny of those countries. They are also soldiers. They took a stand for their people. They refused to take orders from people whose only idea is on how to make benefit for themselves and fulfill obligation for the interests of corporate giants across oceans. And they should stand up, overthrow the Biya regime, and take charge. The end of Cameroon has come. The end of the regime has come. Everyone should muscle up. Everyone should stop. We aren't going back to relive the tragedies of two regimes that have offered nothing but hopelessness and death to both peoples. This is the time for action. This is the time for commitment and sacrifice, not only for our peoples, but to uplift the continent. Africa is a disgrace internationally. Perpetual beggars with abundance. We can transform our societies and be better off. We have started that journey. We may not be the ones to complete it, but we can't stop. We can't go back. We must continuously march forward until we deliver our people from the yoke of colonial domination, from a life of fear and hopelessness. That is an obligation this destination must embrace, even when it is painful.